going on, everyone? Welcome to the first video in my course showing you exactly how I personally trade. Now, if you're a complete beginner and you don't know what pips are, you don't know how to place a trade or calculate risk or any of those types of things, this is not the course for you. This is simply a course for people that already have the fundamentals under their belt and they're simply looking for a style of trading to help them become more consistent and profitable in the market. And this is my own trade style, so if it doesn't make sense to you, that's completely fine. There are plenty of other ways to trade out there in the world, but for me, this is what makes the most sense, and this is what has allowed me to stay consistent and profitable in the market. So I'm just showing you that to maybe help you out. And once again, if it doesn't make sense to you or it just doesn't really seem like a way that you want to trade, that's completely fine. There's plenty of other ways to trade out there. Now, the first thing that I look for in the market is trend, because this is going to show you which way the market is moving, and it'll help you have an overall bias on which types of trades you are looking for. So for instance, if the market is trending down, then we're obviously going to be looking for sells because the market's already moving in that direction, and we don't want to trade against the market because that's a very easy way to lose. I'm sure you've entered a trade before because you thought the market was going a certain direction, and then right after you enter that trade, you know the market goes the opposite direction, and that's probably because you traded against the market or you read the trend of the market wrong, and that's why you lost your trade. Or you could have possibly just entered at the wrong time, and that happens too. So for instance, the first thing that I like to do is grab my Trendline tool, and I like to look for 2 points in the market that I can connect in a trend. So for instance, we have point A right here and point B right here. So I'll go ahead and draw my trend line from here to here. And now we can very easily see that as long as price is underneath this trend line, that we should be looking for sell opportunities. Now, when it comes to trend lines, I think the one thing that a lot of people get wrong is they automatically assume that on that third hit, price is going to go the way that they want. But you have to remember that these lines that we draw on our charts hold no weight in the market. They're not real. They're basically imaginary lines. It's like if I drew a mustache on your face in your sleep and you woke up and saw that in the mirror, it doesn't mean that you now have a mustache because you'll just wipe off the one that I drew. So it's the same thing with these lines. They hold no weight. They're just there for a visual reference to let us know what kind of trades we should be looking for. Because for example, if these lines did hold weight in the market, what's to say that somebody else doesn't draw a trend line like this, calling this their point A and this their point B, and now the market's supposed to respect this line? Why would the market respect their line over yours? It doesn't really make any sense. So just remember that these are imaginary lines that we use for reference to give us a bias on which way the market is trending. And when you use these, you need at least 2 points. So we have our point A right here, or point 1, whatever you want to call it, and our point B or point 2 right here. And now that we have those 2 points, that's what has allowed us to create this trend line right here, showing us that the market is in fact moving in a downward direction. And most people like to look for a trade on that third hit, or point C, which would be right here. But you have to remember that just because you drew this trend line doesn't mean that price is going to touch this line and then continue going down. Once again, we're just using this to let us know what kind of trades we are looking for. And since price broke above this trend line, it now lets us know that we are looking for buy opportunities and we are going to be trading with the market. So if you took a buy at anywhere past this trend line, you would have made a decent profit versus the person that tried to sell right here and all price did was go up after they entered their trade right here. So just remember some of those key points, that you need at least 2 points to make a trend line, and then on the third hit you need to see what the market wants to do, not what you want to happen. Okay, because the market's going to do whatever the market wants to do regardless of how you feel about it or what you think is going to happen. So let's go ahead and look for an example on the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's go ahead and look for an uptrend. So for instance, we have, a point A here and a point B here, or you could even consider this one right here your point B. It's really up to you when it comes to these trend lines, and it's something you'll figure out and learn as you become a more consistent trader. So let's just say, for the sake of example, that we make this one right here our point B, and we'll just drag that into the future. So now you can see that we have point A, point B. We understand that the market is now trending up because we had this trend line right here. Here's our point A, here's our point B right here. price broke through this trend and then created an upward trend with this point here and this point here. So let me just mark these out so you guys don't get confused. Here's the point A for the downtrend right here, right? And then here's the point A and B for the uptrend that was created right here and right here. And where did price break this trend? It broke the trend right here. We have this downward line, and then you can see that price breaks the trend right here. We also have 2 points going in an upward direction, which allows us to draw our trend line into the future. And now we understand that the market is moving up. So we're no longer looking for sell opportunities, we're looking for buy opportunities. And now what we need to look for is that third hit on the trend line, and we need to make sure that price respects it. And we can see that we get that third hit right here. So now you can see that here is your first trade opportunity is on the third hit. We can see that price comes into the trend line, but it never really breaks through. The only candle we really have that breaks through the trend line is this one right here, but you can see with this wick that even though price pushed all the way down here, by the time price closed, it ended up here, and then the next candle shows you that there was a lot of buying power, right? Because price pushes instantly back up above the trend line. So right in this little area, anywhere over here or down here or even here could have been a viable entry. Now, when it comes to the stop loss, that's really up to you and your own risk management. I'm just showing you how I enter my trades. Everything else after that is completely up to you. And then you can hold your trade until price goes beneath the trend line, such as over here in this area. So if you would have taken this trade somewhere in this area up to here, you're looking at roughly 35 pips. That's a fairly decent trade. And then we can see that price does the same thing over and over again. We were trending up, we break the trend line. Now we can start looking for our point A and our point B. We have point A in this area, we have point B right here, and then we're waiting for that third hit, and you can see that price breaks through the trend line. So now once again, we know that we're looking for buy opportunities and not sell opportunities. So this is how I use trend lines, is to basically just tell me which way the trend is moving so I don't trade against the market. And occasionally if I get a third hit that shows me price doesn't want to break beneath or above the trend line depending on the direction, then there's a possibility that I can take a trade there as well. So, you know, some things to remember: just make sure that these lines hold zero weight in the market. They're just there to give you a visual reference on which way or direction you should be trading. Make sure you have at least 2 points to create your trend line, and then see what happens when price is hitting that trend line for the third time. Is it respecting it and rejecting off of it and going the opposite direction, or is it going to break through it and change trend? That is the pivotal moment that you have to figure out before you enter your trade, because you don't want to trade against the market. That's how you lose. So this is how I use trend lines. If you guys have any questions or you're confused about anything that I talked about in this video, just leave a comment below, or message me in the Telegram chat, and I will be more than happy to help you out. And if you're not in the Telegram chat, there will be a link in the description. This is simply just a place where everyone that sees my videos can come together as a community and talk to each other and help each other within whatever ways they find deemable or possible. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.